Good morning, guys. Very good morning to everyone from on behalf of Flutter Ahmedabad, Flutter Nagpur, and Flutter Mumbai. Again, we are back with something that would make your Sunday fruitful. This is Poonam Jha on behalf of Flutter Ahmedabad, but again, this time we are collaborating with these two communities that we collaborated before in FlutterCon India. You guys might have seen me, or the other team members would be joining me shortly. We being in IT, we face a lot of challenges in terms of talking to our TL, talking to our peers, starting from internship to signing, giving resignation and switching a company. So these are a lot of few things that we think that plays a big role in our IT professional journey. So again, if I'm like we committed to you, like we'll see you at 10 o'clock, and we will be streaming this live. But if we are asking you to invest your 1 hour with us, we'll try to make it as good and as fruitful as we can make it for you. I won't take much time. These two individuals that we have invited today as guest speakers, these two, according to them, they're very ordinary professionals. But according to me and you, after an hour, you will be with me in this that I don't think their journey has been so ordinary. They are the individuals who have tried grabbing all the opportunities that they can make throughout their IT journey. So one of them is having more than 7 years of experience. Another one is having more than 5 years of experience yeah. So I won't introduce much them because I want them to tell their stories by themselves. Before moving forward, like we are live on YouTube, so I would ask you to comment and subscribe. You can put your questions you can put your questions in the live chat box, and you can subscribe the Flutter Ahmedabad channel along with that Flutter Mumbai and Flutter Nagpur. You can catch us live on this platform for sure. And then if you have any additional questions for us, or if you have anything to let us know, you can catch us on Twitter handle like Flutter Ahmedabad, Flutter Nagpur, and Flutter Mumbai. Okay, so yeah, so let me just invite these two guest speakers now so that we don't have much time, but we'll try to make it as good as we can make it for you. Maybe no less than a celebration for you. So yeah, here I invite Atul Jha in the screen and Parinita Hajra. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we are so happy and excited to have you on this Sunday. So I will
Okay.
pass the ball to these two individuals to introduce themselves. Yeah, guys, go ahead. Atul Jha.
Hi. Good morning, all, and whoever are here with us. First of all, I was not very sure when these guys, contacted me to have this on a talk show kind of thing. That how I can be of any, major help to anyone. Because as Poonam said, I consider myself as a very ordinary IT professional. To begin with, when I was in college, I was not even very sure that IT belongs to me. Even before my placement seasons, I was more into the preparation for Indian Air Force recruitment. And there were like 1 month to go for the placements, and I was devoting all my time for Indian Air Force examination only. But yes, somehow IT still absorbed me. And once I was in IT, still there were times that, okay, I felt like, okay, do I actually belong here? Is this the field to work for me? So still, yeah, there were some ups and downs and scenarios when I had to reconsider, introspect myself. And yeah, I sailed through the sea of the IT, and yeah, still having being afloat. So yeah, during the talk, we will discuss about few things which may even you may even relate to that. And yeah, so let's see. Thank you.
Um, Hello everyone, this is Parinita Hajra. So first of all, I would like to thank the whole team of Flutter for having me here. It is really a very good opportunity, and actually it is a platform where like you people called us to encourage others. So I don't think that there is any better deed than encouraging others, trying to push anyone little forward towards their journey, towards their destiny. So yes, thank you for giving us this platform. So, to introduce me quickly, I have done my graduation in 2016. From there, in this span of only 2 to 4 years, I have tried a lot of things. So I would say that I'm someone who always tries to grab something new, do something new, tries to like, I'm someone who just believes in learning, sharing, and growing. So I think these three things are the key to grow ourselves and to grow the people around us. If I talk about myself, so as you can say, like, I'm not having a long years of experience so that I can inspire you, but I can say that within very few like few years of span of years, I have done varied things. So I'm not having long years of experience, but I can say that I'm having varied experiences. I have done my bachelor's, master's. I have worked in one of the most reputed MNC private sector. I have worked in most one of the biggest reputed government organization like ISRO. So I am having varied experiences, and I hope that in today's lecture I will be sharing my experiences with you so that you can get little bit of inspiration, and at least you will get some of the few points that how you can proceed forward. I hope I can add little bit value to your life in this session.
And one thing that is common in between me and Parinita is that we both started our careers, professional careers, with Tata Consultancy Services, and I was there in TCS until like 8 months ago. So yeah, that's the common thing between us.
Yes,
Over to you, Poonam.
the starting of our journey was common. Yes.
Wow, great. So now everyone knows that this is as ordinary as I said, but like they both didn't mention about it. They both were not in need to hunt for more things, but these two are the individuals who tried creating opportunities for them. Like if I talk about Atul Jha, he worked at TCS for more than 6 years, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, around
And
6 years.
then around 6 years, and during that 6 years only, he got online on-site opportunity. He went Kenya, and he stayed there. He worked there like he presented TCS over there for more than 1.5 years. And if I talk about Parinita, if I zoom, she is an inspiration to me for sure. She worked at TCS for 2 years, and then she is one of those individuals who thought that no, I want to study more. She went for MTech, and during that MTech journey as well, she took internship at ISRO, and now she will be rejoining TCS. So we guys think a lot that I want to make a move like Atul. Now has it's been only 8 months that he's not a part of TCS. Like after that cocoon, or I can say that TCS would must have became a comfort zone for him. He
For sure.
served a lot. Yeah, exactly. And then he decided to make a, so we think a lot before switching to a different company. Like definitely if it is a TCS, you guys would we would need to stay there as long as we can, because that name plays a big role in our resume as an IT professional. But if you, yeah, so a lot of things I will not touch base everything now, but yeah, let's keep it for the entire session. We have some question answer, and throughout that only these two individuals will be sharing their approaches towards these kind of opportunities. Or if not, then they have seen people around them who struggle to find approach or find the resolution towards how they can play the best the role. So the first question for both of you, which like that's the first job about. How were your preparation? Were you preparing anything special for your first job? Yeah. Parinita, would you like to go first?
Yes, Poonam, that's a good question. That because first job is always special. It is special, and I would say it is very important too. Because throughout our graduation or throughout our degree of 3 years or 4 years, we are consistently in the thought that I have to study well, I have to get good grades, and the ultimate goal is to get a good job. Mostly, in most of in this is the case with most of the students, right? So no doubt, first job is very important, and obviously for that people are preparing, students are preparing, and like any other student, I was also very serious about my first job. So the most of the preparation that I've done was concentrating on creating a good resume, because I feel that that is very important. First of all, creating a good resume, and then all the things that I've added in my resume, like all the subjects or any programming language, whatever I have added in my resume, to make myself clear with all those things. Because what I this is something that I share with other students also and juniors also, that your resume is something that whatever you are mentioning in your resume, every word matters. Fine. So, like whatever we are mentioning in our resume, you should be clear with each and every point of that. So, these are the two basic things that I've done, that creating a good resume and making myself clear and making myself confident enough that whatever I have written, I am very much sure about all those things, all those stuffs like subjects or programming languages. And apart from these technical things, one of the most other important thing is to concentrate on our soft skills, communication skills, personality, because these things also play a very important role in while we are going to give interview in any good company. So I think yes, these are a couple of things in which I have concentrated, and I think all the students should concentrate.
Wow, that makes sense too. Yeah, Atul.
Yeah, means I couldn't agree more because yeah, soft skills and your resume is the only thing through which recruiters can assess you. They can scan you, scrutinize you because you are a fresher. So obviously they have access to your grades and mark sheets and everything, but that is not something that recruiters focus much on. So apart from these things also it matters is that how you how you showcase that the academic projects that you might have undertaken. So that is also as important. So yeah, these are all the things that crucial that play the crucial part in your campus placement, be it off campus or on campus.
Yes, I agree to that. Project is really important.
Right. Wow. Okay. So that piece of paper and your journey, some remarkable notes. Yeah. As you guys mentioned projects, the next question is about that only. So were you focusing more on your graduation projects? It can be your own chosen to learn something, or it can be something which is academic requirement, like it's a part of syllabus. So were you considering the job factor in your mind while deciding the projects and preparing for exams? Parinita.
Okay, so yeah, I would honestly say that when you are choosing your academic projects, main focus should be more on getting learning opportunities, how you can apply maximum of your concepts that you have learned, and also choosing a little offbeat or niche subjects, but that is not as mandatory. If you are choosing a project subject that is widely popular among the communities, but still if you are able to apply most of your concepts properly, that is what matters more. And if you are planning to go for higher studies, maybe in abroad also, then this will play a very crucial part in your I think they have a specific term for that, something like proposal and all. So yeah, choosing a project in which you can apply maximum of your knowledge, you can gather maximum learning, and also if you can choose an offbeat topic if you can.
Takeaway for people, takeaway for users. Yeah. Yes, Parinita, your approach to this.
Yes, I completely agree with all the points that Atul just now mentioned. Apart from that, I would like to agree. Yes, the very first point is that whatever option or whatever technology you are choosing, that is very important, because like that should make you learn more and more things. Nowadays, I've seen that many students are taking normal projects like making any website. So in that case, what happens that the recruiters are not very happy with that, because whenever you are going with making any simple website, to be very frank, nowadays everything is available on internet. Like you can take the template of any website and you can create a website directly, fine, without much
True,
efforts. So
true,
taking
true.
such thing as a project will not add value to yourself. So choose a project that will actually add value to you, that can increase your knowledge, that can increase your logic. And apart from choosing the project like this idea is one of the things that I wanted to add. And apart from that, we are having mostly the students are mostly having two options, that either to do the projects by themselves or to do the project with any company by associating with any company. So in this case, I would like to suggest that if you are capable enough or you are having the opportunity that you can connect with any company or any organization to do the project, then I would say that that is better, because whenever we are choosing an idea from ourselves and we are working on it, maybe we are not getting the correct direction. But whenever we are doing the same with any organization, you will get a good platform, you will get a working environment, and you will get a sequence, you will get a good like procedure that how the things should be done, and everything can be going in a good way. So your project will be executed properly, and apart from that, you will get a good working environment, and you will get much more learning by that. So this is one of the like you can say that tips, or one of the advices that I can give to the juniors.
Very
And
true, very true.
to share my own story on this particular point, it was when I was having my internship, the industrial project, you can say, with SR Steel. In that, I was working, on a live project which was about optimizing and maximizing the output of steel that they have to slit. They have to slit from the cores or sheets. So the project was about slitting optimization system. So working in that project, I had to I had to learn about Spring and Hibernate, Java, advanced Java, everything in an applied manner. I was having the knowledge in my college, but yeah, that was very different when it came to applied knowledge. And during that duration only, I actually gained the confidence that okay, I can survive in IT because I was able to perform here. So yeah, academic projects as well as internship matters the most in your shaping your beginning of the career.
Wow, the next
Yes,
question has
exactly.
already been introduced. Wow, nice. Great, great, guys. This is turning very interesting. Okay, so the next question is really like again like, adds a lot of confidence and gives us the reality check. This is where we are and this is what we need to prepare for. So I'll invite the fellow community member from Flutter Mumbai, Vivek, to ask the next question. And yeah, come join us, Vivek. Yeah, there you go.
Hi everyone, I'm representing Flutter
Yes.
Mumbai. Flutter Mumbai community is all about learning and sharing knowledge about Flutter and its related technologies. We are a team of 6 motivated people. Join us on Meetup and Telegram. So here's a question for our speakers. How do you hunt for a good internship?
Like there are various ways how we can there are various ways how we can find out the internship. If I name some of the good websites, that is monster.com, internshala. So these two three are the websites where students can get various different types of internships. So they can get technical internships as well as non-technical internships based on their knowledge or based on their area of interest. So these are some of the websites. There you can get long-term projects, short-term projects. There you can even get the idea. For example, you are already having some idea and you just want to know that related to that idea, what extra or what much worthy you can do in your projects. So you can get from those websites. So I would recommend these two websites. And apart from that, in order to hunt a good internship in any good organization, what you can do is students can have a see good network plays an important role here, that if you are having good network, if you are having if you are in contact with the people who are already in good organization, who are already working in good companies, they can help you out in terms of projects, in terms of companies. So yes, a good network, good alumni contacts, and these some of the websites, I guess they can help the students a lot in hunting the internships.
And apart from that, if you
I guess
happen to be kind of,
uh,
few notches above your peers in college, like you are a topper of your branch and something like that, then also you can check for various, excellent government organizations like ISRO and Physical Research Laboratory, Plasma Research Institute, all of them. They offer some very nice internships to people who are having, excellent academic records. So that also adds.
yeah, I
That
guess
that was great.
this is great.
I think Vivek
I
also has a
wish
story
to
about
share
it.
my
Go ahead, man.
yeah. So I was a topper in my college, and I was not so well versed with technologies. So when I graduated from college, I mean I didn't have any job, so I started hunting job, and I got a job after 2 months, and it was an internship where I was working for 10 hours a day, And thanks to Vicky Sharma who helped me to get this internship. The problem what I found was I was not having any project to showcase, any piece of knowledge to tell them in the interviews. So, and third thing is very important, which Atul highlighted, is the networking. So I didn't have a network with my seniors and all those things. So if we had, I mean, if I had those things at that time, then I think I would be able to get a good job at that time. So that was my thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. Thanks for this question. Moving on to the next one. This is very important. What do you consider before accepting an offer or a position in any company? Or what are those parameters that you focus more on it? I think Atul would like to go first.
If I heard properly, it is about what all things you consider before accepting an offer, is it?
Right, right.
Yeah, so to be very frank, the first and foremost thing will be remuneration, right? If you are going for this is more relevant in case you are, changing your job, because hardly you will get to negotiate when you are getting your first job as a fresher, because normally companies have a fixed range of pay scale defined for them. But yeah, if you
True.
are an experienced professional, I'll use the word EP now onwards for the session. So if you are an EP and you are going for a change of job, then the most important thing for you in normal scenarios will be remuneration. But apart from that, what plays the most important roles are that the structure of your salary, you should check if the major part means, or a bigger part should not be your variable pay, because you may not get all of them. Apart from that, things to consider are the company's HR policies. There should not be cases where companies have policies like hire and fire. When they do not have project, they do not have the much capacity of benching the people. So those things also play a role, because you may not be sure that okay, you will always be having the project to work on. So this is one important thing. And for me personally, work life balance is of paramount importance, because I I earn to live, I don't live to earn. This is what I believe in. So yeah, this is one important factor. Apart from that, if you are a passionate and enthusiast about technologies, then things to look for is that you can ask upfront to your recruiters that which all projects they are considering you for, which are the technologies that you will be working on, because it may happen that they are offering you a staggering amount in your salary, but they might put you in projects which having technologies you might be least interested to work in, because it doesn't suit your interest. So these are the things to consider.
Very true. And adding to this answer was almost all the points that I was thinking about. And apart from that, one important point is that only that in whatever organization you are going, what is the domain in which the organization is working is more important. Many times it happens that the organization is good, you like the organization, but the way the work is done there, or the technologies in which the work is done in that organization, is not really of your interest. So what happens that instead of working happily or working with interest, you have to work in stress. So that doesn't make sense, even if the organization is good. So I would suggest that seeing the technologies actually plays a very important role, that the tools and technologies and the work done in that organization are of your interest or not. So yes, these are the main things that should be looked upon.
Wow. Well answered. Well answered. So the next question is more on a fresher's perspective. Like we do feel people are having a lot of knowledge in the same room that we are in, and we feel like, oh, dude, I don't know this. I'm completely blank about it. How I forget answering. I don't even understand what they are talking about. So these specific thing, the specific emotion of an IT professional. I'll ask Praful to have this question asked. Yeah, Praful from the fellow community again, Flutter Nagpur, we are collaborating with today. Yeah, Praful, your question for the speakers.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. My question is, as a fresher or even as an experienced one, how you deal with imposter syndrome?
Okay. So yeah, I'll share my own true story to put more light on this. When I was in TCS, when I had completed my 2 years, I thought of, let's start looking for other opportunities now since we have completed our mandatory bond of 2 years. So yeah, when an incident happened is that there was a company which was just opposite to my office, like we can see from our window that their company's office. So I was having an interview scheduled with them. So since I was working in the same vicinity, I asked them that can I have the interview at 5 p.m., which was our chai ki tapri time. So instead of having taking a leave from my current working, I can just utilize this time. So yeah, my colleagues were going for chai. I just told them that आप लोग जाओ, मेरा इंटरव्यू है अभी, एंड अगर हो जाता है खत्म तब तक तब मैं आ जाऊंगा. Like nobody will expect that within a very short span of time I'll be returning to them. Yeah, but I went for the interview, and there it was like 5 minute, not more than 5 minutes of interview. The interviewer asked me few questions, and I was completely blank about all of them. So by the time they reached to Tapri, I was also there. Within 2-3 minutes they thought of, okay, मेरा interview cancel हो गया क्या? But नहीं, ऐसा नहीं हुआ था. मुझे एक भी आंसर नहीं आया था उसका. At that time I thought like, अरे यार, am I Java developer at all? Am I a software engineer at all? क्योंकि मुझे कोई भी आंसर नहीं आया. But yeah, that happens to everyone. That okay, ऐसा नहीं होगा शायद सभी के साथ कि कुछ भी ना आए, but बहुत कुछ नहीं आएगा आपको इंटरव्यू में. या तो किसी से डिस्कस करोगे, या तो if you are attending any event, you might see people who are way above your caliber and all. You may feel that it might not be actually true. अब मेरे केस में रीजन ये था that I was having a very comfort zone kind of thing with TCS. I was working in a specific project. I was focusing only on the things that mattered, the topics, that's concepts which I was actually working on. So because of that, I had not kept myself updated. So the only way to deal with the syndrome is that think where you are. Most probably you will be working in any organization, you will be performing your role well, so that means that you know things, right? Then only you are able to do what you are doing. It is just that you haven't thought of the scenarios that the interviewer might have thought of. You are not completely up to date with the outer world. So the most important factor to cope with this is to have confidence in yourself. पास्ट देख लो, कभी ना कभी कुछ अच्छा किया ही होगा, कुछ एक्सेलेंट अचीव किया ही होगा लाइफ में, बी इट इन योर प्रोफेशनल और पर्सनल लाइफ. तो have confidence in yourself. And the most important thing to come out of this, if you are an EP, that rejections, the more and more rejections you face in your interviews, the more and more it will energize you, the more and more it will it will tell you to push yourself towards excellence, towards learning things. जो कुछ भी नहीं आया एक इंटरव्यू में, उसको पढ़ के जाओ, नेक्स्ट टाइम आएगा. बहुत सारा नहीं है इस दुनिया में जो आपको नहीं आता होगा, कम ही होगा जो नहीं आता होगा. लेकिन बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, दोज wrong things, you might face rejections. And staying resolved to your motive, to your aim, is the key to overcome this.
Thank you, Atul, for answering this
Very well
question.
said. Thanks for this question, Praful. This was really important, I felt. Yeah. Because this is something which will be turning in from the next generation we will be dealing with. They are trained and they are recognized with some great extraordinary skills, this ML, data science and everything. And
Yes,
like as you said, EP experienced people they might not feel that this exact word imposter syndrome, but they might feel the competition at some big level,
yeah.
and they'll have to
Even
cope up
if you are a
with that.
fresher or an experienced one, everyone goes through this phase. The feeling of inferiority, that hey, someone else is knowing much better than me and he's doing great.
True,
So
true.
yeah,
Thank you for this question, Praful.
And even
Thank you again.
thank you.
there is this thing, the IT giants like TCS and Infosys and companies alike, they have come up with in recent years, that they have a scheme called Digital Ninjas. I think Parinita would be knowing this.
Yes. Actually, adding something to what Praful said, that nowadays this is the problem, that students or new professionals, they are having one inferiority complex, that people are knowing that, people around me are knowing that, but I'm not knowing. So I also face the same thing. While at the time when I joined TCS, I was a complete fresher. I was just passed out. So in my mind, I thought that yes, I know C language, I know Java language, then I can easily work, because I knew that I have to work initially in the Java language in TCS. So I was completely okay with my mind that okay, I know C language and I know Java language, I can easily work with that. But when I actually started working there, I have seen the work environment, then I realized that the Java that I knew, that basic Java, was of no use. And so yes, again that thing happened, and I saw that everyone, all the people who were around me, they were able to work, but it's like everything was new for me. I was completely surprised with everything. So initially, yes, you feel down that I don't know these things. Initially your confidence becomes low, but we should not, like, we should not allow this negativity to work on us. Instead, we should start learning that people around me know that thing, so we should take it as a positivity, that if the people around me are knowing the things, it is good for me, I can learn from them. So instead of having like attitude problem or inferiority complex problem, take it as a positive thing, that yes, I am going to ask questions, I'm going to ask my doubts, and I'm going to learn from them. And the same thing happened when my when I started when I joined ISRO. In ISRO, the working environment is completely different. Like, we can't even imagine that unless and until we enter ISRO, because working in any normal company, in private companies or whatever, the working environment is completely different. And we all know that ISRO is already at altogether different level. So in ISRO, people are talking, when I entered first day, when it was my first day at ISRO, I saw that no one was talking the normal things like we talk about. They were talking about like navigation, satellite communication, weather forecasting and all. I was like, what is this? I just know these words, I don't know anything more about that. But eventually the things happen, you see the people around you, you learn from them, you grow eventually. So yes, it's just that you have to have that positive attitude inside you, that yes, I need to learn, I need to grow, and I will learn. So eventually everything becomes okay and you start learning the things. So instead of having that inferiority complex or that fear inside you, start having that confidence that yes, I'm going to learn it and I'm going to do that.
Awesome, awesome.
And
Like
to
we
add a
have,
little onto that, if you are someone with having a few notches above than your peers, if you are having some champion like things in you, then you might be the one who is causing imposter syndrome in others. So go reach out to people, make them your friends, and apply
Right.
that. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Yes.
wow.
True.
We have a
True.
digital ninja in our screen, Praful Mishra. This man has earned a lot in terms of opportunities, in terms of knowledge, in terms of technologies and language gains. So we have one here
So
in the
Praful
screen.
is talking about a syndrome which he has created into others.
No, no. I have been through this, so I just asked. I think
So
everyone
we
should
have
be
an
aware
Great.
of
example
this.
here. Praful has been through this struggling phase, and now he is the someone because of seeing whom someone can feel inferior. So like, yeah, we can learn from him that okay, he was a kind of he's like how Einstein was suffering from many problems which the world can say he's not able to do
Yes.
anything, he's not capable of doing anything, but yeah, we know the history then.
Yes.
This is getting
True.
crazy now. Thank you, Praful. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, for this was well answered. Okay, so since the digital ninja has already been introduced in the session, so the next question is, again, this is somewhat touched and covered from the past questions. What leads you to decide that that's a time to make a move? It can be the move can be switching a company, like Parinita did, moving back to studies, following your passion towards teaching, or it can be nurturing yourself and or an outer world. So, what leads you to decide that this is the time I need to make a move, and how do you
Okay.
prepare for that?
I think about switching. I think about switching company. Atul is having more experience, better experiences. So I think he's a good person to answer this.
I would
Go
like
ahead,
to
go ahead,
show
Atul.
something on screen before answering this question. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. Is it visible?
Not yet. Now we can see that something coming up.
Yeah. So deep down, you always know your worth. So if you feel at any point of time that you wanted to do something else when you joined this IT sector, and you are not getting it despite trying for the same for many times, and still there is don't ever feel that this is everything you can always get. It's a vast universe. The IT ecosystem is big enough to absorb you in the way you want to get absorbed, to make the most out of you and allow you to make most out of the industry. So yeah, whenever you feel that you always wanted to do something in your comfort zone, or because reasons which through which you because of which
I think some internet issues. Expecting him to join us back. There he is.
okay, so yeah, that is the exact time when you start looking for opportunities, be it in your own organization or out of your organization. So that is the main trigger. If you feel that you wanted to do something else, or you think that your worth, be it remuneration, salary, etc., is more than what your organization is paying, that is the time. Or if you think that of your natural and genuine introspection, that you want to learn more before coming back to the actual working world industries, so on that, Parinita would be better person to answer.
Yes, exactly. That when you start getting the feeling that I should learn more, and obviously during working in any organization, you can definitely learn. But in that case, what happens that your learning becomes limited to some specific technology or tool on which you are working, right? So if I talk about my case, I have worked for 2 years in TCS, but after that, I started getting the feeling that no, I want to do my masters. I want to complete my masters. So and I obviously, if we want to do something, it's said that it is better, like how much early you can do that. So in masters also, TCS is having a provision that after the completion of 2 years of experience, you can take leave for your higher studies and you can pursue that. So I have done the same. I have taken the leave for 2 years and I have started my MTech degree. And actually it really matters a lot. Like now I'm going to say you tell you that how it is more beneficial. So if I tell my example, I have done my 4 years of BTech and I have done my 2 years of MTech. And okay, not to brag anything, just to give you a difference in both, kind of I have topped my college. But still, if I tell you difference from my perspective, in BTech, I have just done like I have just taken the bookish knowledge, to be very frank. Yes, I was among those immature students who were looking at marks, that yes, I have to get good marks, I have to get good rank, I have to study well, I have to study hard. That kind of mentality. I have done 4 years of BTech with that mentality, and yes, I had get good marks. I fortunately I had got selected in the placement also in TCS. That was okay. But after having 2 years of technical experience, when I started doing my MTech, it was altogether a different story. When I was doing MTech, after doing 2 years of actual experience in the industry, in MTech, whatever I studied, whatever subject or whatever topics I was studying, I was very easily able to correlate them, that yes, if I'm studying this thing, what is the actual use of this thing in the real scenario, what is the actual implementation of these formulas, what are the actual implementation of this theory that I'm learning. So it makes a great difference, believe me. I have done 4 years of BTech also, and currently I have done 2 years of MTech after the experience. So it really mattered a lot. It was very different from the way I was seeing the things in my BTech. So in MTech, I actually started seeing the things with a different vision. I actually started to correlate the things with the real industry. And I think that's what real education is all about. You should know what you are learning and why you are learning. So, yes, if you want to pursue something, if you want to learn more, then obviously it is never too late. It is always a good opportunity to do that if you are really passionate enough. So I would suggest that yes, if we talk about switching the job or switching your field to do something else, for example, you were working in an IT company and then you start realizing that you want to do your like career in teaching, then you should go for it. It's not like I have done 4 years of IT industry experience, they will be useless. See, nothing goes useless. In this case of switching something,
Very true.
always the people are having one fear in their mind. They are having the fear that this experience will be useless, but no experience is useless. You are always gaining something, you are always learning something, and irrespective of in which field you will go in the future, those experiences or those learning will be with you forever. So I think going for any other field or any other company, switching companies is always a good option, uh, unless and until, like, it is always a good option if you are really passionate about it and if you want to grow. So that's all I want to say.
Nice, nice. Very well captured. So the next question, do we have Vivek on the screen? I see some goddess sign. Yeah, here. Okay, wow. So yeah, the next question is about salary. Money matters a lot. Money actually matters the most. Yeah, Vivek, go ahead with the question.
So, how do you negotiate a salary parameter?
Okay.
And how do you
Yeah.
ask for
Okay.
the raise as well?
Normally, let me cover it case by case. If you are in any organization and you feel that you want to do something else, something more, so you can always reach out to your management, ask them what all better opportunities they can offer you. Suppose if you are in TCS, in my case, I had asked for an on-site opportunity because that is the way that I can get an international exposure, I can get client exposure, I can learn better things, I can do a different role, and I can also earn a handsome amount of money by staying overseas for in a long term manner. So yeah, if they can offer you something like that, formally ask for that and show them that okay, you need it badly, otherwise you may seek out outside opportunities. Now coming to the point that you finally decide to switch. Okay, so now in India it happens that after clearing all the rounds of technical interviews and everything, the final round will be with HR, and in that they have only one major point to discuss: what is your current CTC, and we can offer you at max this percent of rise. Right, so it happens in countries like US. It is actually illegal to ask for what is your current CTC. You can ask for any amount of your salary based on what you are presenting on table as a skill set of yours, as a person that you are. But yeah, in India it is the case. And a working proven methodology, I can share my own experience. I was switching almost after 6 years for the first time in my career. So yeah, I went for the first interview, I cleared it, and at max they offered 80% raise to me. Like, it is a good amount if you consider in normal scenario, but I was switching after 6 years, so I was expecting much more than that. So I took the offer letter, I submitted my resignation. I was having 90 days of notice period to enjoy and make the most of it. So I went for interviews after interviews, considering my existing offers, the latest ones, and after 80%, I asked for a 90% one. I got it. I asked for 100% raise in other company. I got it. Later, I asked for 110%. Later, I asked for 120%. By continuously doing this, I was having an offer which was offering me 140% rise than my current CTC. So this is a proven methodology. If you have a company in mind, suppose you want to work in Amdocs, say for example, then directly don't go for Amdocs. If you are expecting a huge amount of raise, go for an interview in any other company, crack the interview, get an offer later, and then negotiate to the next company based on your current offer later. By this, you can incrementally get more and more hike. And I can don't hesitate to ask for more. If you are having capabilities you think you have, then confidently ask to the HR. Don't feel that okay, this will be like a shock to them. It is not. It is actually not. I'll show you further my example. I got an 120% hike, means I was having more, but I choose this company because of certain policies and work life balance and all. After 8 months staying here in this company, I was getting another opportunity to get a another job. In that, it would normally be in someone's mind that okay, I've already had 120% hike, how can I ask more? But I asked 80% and I got 60%. So in the span of 8 months, I my salary increased by 250%. And I don't still feel that I've exhausted all my capabilities. Even I could, because of COVID-19 all scenarios, I had to settle with this amount. But yeah, don't ever feel that okay, this is too much. There is no high bar. If you are having no high bar of your skill set, if you can learn infinitely and endlessly, you can ask endlessly, believe this. And always, carry your confidence. That is the most important weapon that you have with yourself. Carry your confidence, ask firmly. If they say that okay, no, we can't offer, we have to seek approvals, tell them that okay, go seek approvals. If they say that I'm not in a position to approve this, tell them who is in position to approve, bring that person in. It is like that only. They have certain tricks to play with you. You can also carry your tricks with you.
Wow, this was a masterpiece answer, I guess. Like, simply, it is, if I just summarize the answer he said, you can sound greedy if you worth it. If you feel you are not worthy, you make yourself worth enough. Maybe that
Correct.
6 years of experience can add a lot of you, add a lot in you. And if you do not have that, that 90 periods of notice period is good enough to be that sufficient person who can ask for 200% hike.
And the most important
Awesome.
thing
So,
is that
guys,
when the
again, for
HR or the other the concerned people ask you to justify your requirement, justify your expectation, that thing you should focus most on preparing the answer for. And nobody will tell you this, but the most difficult and most meaningful negotiation is the one in which you have to say no and you actually say no. That also fructifies.
true that. Again, for the viewers, as I said, these two individuals count themselves as an ordinary, but these answers, like the answer previously Parinita answered about digital ninja, and now Atul answered about negotiation. That's why I count them as an extraordinary masterpieces, because their journey and their approaches towards it can be a hike, which matters the most, or it can be making a move, but these two individuals have played their best characters. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I kept on thanking them for for being with us. Okay, so the next question, a lot of has been talked, a lot has been discussed. These next would be very specific to an IT industry because things are changing in no time. Technologies and languages are being added in no time. We are seeing a lot of changes if we compare to the previous years and now. Do you focus on the same technology or a language? And Praful has an additional thing to add on about keeping updated in trends. Yeah, Praful, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question was how you keep yourself updated with the latest technology trends which are going in the market as well as in the communities.
Okay, for this, the ideal thing is that you keep on engaging with people, be it online forums like Stack Overflow or online consortiums and events. And also, I would share one non-traditional method of doing so. I have seen many people doing this. Even if you are happy with your current position and you plan to stay in the same organization for a little longer amount of time, then also it is important to keep having your own litmus test. अपना पानी नापने के लिए go for interviews once in a while, just to check your knowledge whether you are relevant to the industry anymore, or you need to do some relearning, unlearning thing kind of things. So that adds. And also there are some various methods, various channels available online, offline, through which you can always stay relevant to your organization. And one more thing I would like to add is, it is not that only when you have the knowledge of latest trends in the IT then you are relevant. I'll share one excellent example of this coronavirus times only, that in United States many people started filing for unemployment benefits in the federal government systems. So the systems, the servers of the system started getting heavy loads, and they are all very decades old systems, so they're all developed in Fortran, COBOL kind of those languages. So suddenly the developers were having knowledge of COBOL, Fortran. They were in very huge demand, and companies were able were like offering whatever they asked for. So even if you have a very strong hold in the technologies which are considered as older or outdated, still if you have this the excellent knowledge of that, you are more relevant, you are no less relevant than any other person.
Right. I totally agree with that. Um, Thanks for your answer.
Welcome, buddy.
I'll add something into this. So I started myself as Android and Node.js developer. Later I found myself in Flutter, and right now I'm focusing more on, I can say, 100% on Flutter. So, and what I can see, because of this Flutter thing, I got much more increment what I was about to get as an Android developer. So always keep an eye on latest trend and find out if you have an interest into that or not. If you have interest into that, you can go for that, and if ever you got chance to switch into that technology, you should, because you don't know what can be happen in future. So just keep an eye
Correct.
on
That is the
that.
more important, finding your own interest, because technologies, philosophically speaking, technologies were created to make humans comfortable. Technologies should not discomfort you.
Correct.
Very true.
Correct. So one should keep their roots strong. If your base is strong, then you can unlearn the thing you already have and learn something new which you don't.
Correct. The core or the soul of the IT is that it lies in the understanding of the business, understanding your customers, and understanding how you can solve problems, problem solving, analytical skills. Languages are just new packaging of same things, or with little ease of programming and added features and all.
Yes, exactly. Like, this is something that people should understand, that learning is a journey. It's not like you are having one goal that you have to learn this thing and you have learned and your work is done. It's not like that. Like, it's a journey that should go on and on.
Correct.
Yeah, true. Okay, I think we have another amazing one line with Flutter Vadodara. We'll have to eat less time of our viewers now. Some very important that notable questions we have for both of you. We really don't want to end it so quickly, but yeah, we'll have to. So the next question is that piece of paper you said that actually plays a big role. So that has been covered. A very quick one on that. How is your approach towards your resume modification while preparing for different job or position? That
Okay,
only
so
about the modification thing more.
in this case, the only I'll make it very short and relevant. Add as much as specific points in your resume as you can, and minimize writing sentences, long sentences and paragraphs. And from my personal experience, I can say that only mention those keywords or technologies which you are having knowledge of. Putting 10 15 technologies and skill set in your resume, and if you are asked in interview about one or two of them and then you are clueless, that adds to a very bad impression. Instead, if you are having very less knowledge of about something, you don't mention in your CV, but in interview you find an opportunity to showcase that will add as a plus, that the person is not bluffing or faking about anything. So keeping it crisp, mention the relevant and applicable things. And if you are applying for some offbeat organizations which might be looking for a very specific things in you, then you can focus more on those relevant things. And even if you have a very great knowledge of something, if it is not relevant, minimize the exposure of those things.
Right. So I have another question. What do companies expect from a fresher and an experienced one like you?
Well, in both the cases, The things are different for both the cases. Whenever any beginner or any fresher goes for an interview, so the company expects that he should have obviously the basic knowledge of at least the things that he or she has mentioned in the resume. But apart from that, they are looking for communication skills, soft skills, personality, and that's it. But the basic difference that I would say for a company or for any recruiter, for a difference between a person who is coming for giving interview as a fresher and one experienced one is that in fresher they are mostly looking that the person should be capable enough he should be capable enough of learning new things, because the company knows that whenever they are taking any fresher, they are anyhow going to train him or her for whatever work is relevant for their company. So as a fresher, you should know the basics of the important subjects or the things you are interested in, and apart from that, one best quality that you should be having is you should be capable enough of learning or grabbing new things. And if you are going to give interview as an experienced person, as an experienced employee, then and in that case the interviewer expects that you should have a good knowledge or a good hold of some technology that you have already worked in. So this is the basic difference, I would say.
And apart from that, even if you become an EP and then you go for one from one company to another, all the things that a fresher is expected of, that still applies, and you are expected to having gathered the knowledge and the adaptability, the virtue of adaptability, and understanding in as less amount of time possible what is the actual problem, what do the customers expect, and also the willingness to learn, unlearn, and relearn things. Because to share my own experience, when I joined Zorient after TCS, I was asked to work on a project which was of Angular, which was having no work to do in Java, and I had in my life never worked on any UI technologies. But yeah, since I was asked to do so, and it was in my favor that I will be learning a new UI technology which is latest in market and which will add to my own values, so I adapted to that. I learned that in my own time, during using the resources the company provides and my own personal resources. So yeah, that is more important to being adaptable, being adaptive, and willingness to learn new things.
True that. Like in IT, we'll have to be ever ready to get new things in our pocket. That's what keeps us good, get going. Yeah, very true, very relatable. Okay, so again, moving on to the next question. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yeah. So this is again a management position. When you are expected to manage more and write less code, how is your approach towards that? I think you both can answer this together.
Okay, so in to answer this question, the question is, I think the question is fundamentally wrong. You are never expected to manage more, or manage less, write more, write less. It should be based on your purely personal interest. I have seen in my current organization, Citibank, that people are having experience of 20 years or more. They are still developing code. Okay, they are still writing code, they are still dirtying their hands on solving problems of real coding knowledge, coding world. And on contrary to that, so it should be based on what is your interest. If you want to pursue managerial roles in your future life, in your future career, there are plenty of opportunities in almost every organization that they can offer you. But you are the person who is kind of a geek, a nerd kind of thing, more passionate, more enthusiast about coding and latest trends of technologies and all. You can always ask for it. So it all depends on your company's culture, way of working, the hierarchical structure and all. I think in my personal experience also, I had a contrasting factual knowledge, factual scenario of the same while I was in TCS. I think Parinita can emphasize more on that.
Yes, in TCS, most of the examples that we can see are like that only. That if the people are having, I guess, 5+ experience, let's say they are having 7 or 8 years of experience, then majority of such employees, what they are doing is they are shifting to managerial tasks more, like managing the things, managing the juniors, training juniors, giving them reviews, such kinds of stuff. But yes, as Atul said, that at the end, it all depends on your interest. That even if you are having 10 or 20 plus years of experience, but if you are really passionate enough about coding, about developing the things, so you can be a proper developer even after 20 plus years of experience. So at the end, it's all about your interest. But yes, in big organizations like TCS, mostly depends on the on your position after promotion, what your position is. And if you are like a manager kind of thing after 7 8 years of experience, then in that case mostly it happens that you do less, you write less amount of code, and most of your time is invested in managing the things.
Yeah, but don't let expectations drive you. You drive the force. Take charge of your own career. And if you are expecting, if your interest is in coding and you are asked to do managerial jobs, you know, approach your management, tell them upfront. If they can't offer you, in my personal opinion, it is time to, start looking for other opportunities as well.
True, true.
Is totally
Again,
like one's own area of interest comes first.
yeah, if you're interested and if you're doing things that you're already interested in, that you will be able to be more productive, and you will enjoy the process entirely. Very true. Okay, so we are almost
Exactly.
done with the questions. The last one for both of you. This remains the constant and a forever evergreen question for everyone, especially the viewers. That since considering the time frame of your journey and the count of your experience you both have achieved and the movement that you guys have gone through, a few things that you learned with the time.
Okay. So like
Well,
a few years ago, when I was seeing people, achieving greater heights and, like achieving their dreams, it was kind of, sometimes for me it was like a mirage. It is something that was far dream for me. So like at that time I told myself that, okay, if they can do, I can do as well. And now I cascade the same message to the viewers, that if we can do, you can do it too. And one more thing is that when, going gets tough, tough gets going.
Parinita.
yes. So if I would like to say something that I learned with the time is stop looking at the numbers. If we talk about our education field or in our company related to our work, I would suggest, this is one of the most important advice I would say, is stop looking at the numbers. Like as a student, if you just concentrate on your numbers like marks, rank, and all, and in terms of an employee, if you just concentrate on your salary, what salary my friend is getting, what salary my colleague is getting, how much hike my colleague has got, don't concentrate too much on that. Understand that it's a journey. The journey is different for all. We all are having different goals, different area of interest, different things we want to achieve. So it's just that the thing you should be concentrating is whether I am better or not than what I was yesterday. So just concentrate on keep making yourself better, on growing the things, sharing the things, keep learning more things. So that's what. Just try to make yourself better with each passing day instead of just concentrating on the numbers and saddening yourself. So that's all.
Okay. I hope viewers, you guys got your questions answered so far. We tried making it as good and as important questions we can take up for both for everyone, especially focusing more on the IT professional because we dedicatedly work for Flutter. And again, the IT words is actually the parent of everything. So we all five on the screen you are seeing, we all are an IT product, not coded with that, but again, we are one of them who we are really inspired and we are really happy with the kind of work and the kind of opportunities we are getting. But these two individuals were making the same thing in some other way. The journey was really interesting, and we really found that. Hopefully, we could serve you a good plate. We could serve you an interesting one and a tasty one as well. We have a digital ninja on the screen, as I said, Praful. I will quickly ask him to introduce his community since he didn't get much opportunity to speak about it. And then we'll quickly sign off and we'll move on to Flutter Vadodara event, which is to be started very soon. Yeah, Praful, go ahead.
Yeah. So hello everyone. I am Praful Mishra, organizer of Flutter Nagpur. So far in our journey of contributing back to society as a community, we have conducted an online introductory session on Flutter. Then also we have contributed in Flutter India conference as well. There are more lined up in upcoming timeline. But yes, if you are the one who wants to learn Flutter or even explore what community can do together, then yes, I welcome you all. For more information, you can check out our meetup page, which is available in the description below. And you can, for more information, you can ping us in Twitter.
We will be very, very glad to answer your questions. I completely understand you guys would have a lot of things in your head to ask these two individuals because the answers were really inviting more questions. But we are running out of time and we cannot take more now. But these two individuals are an active players on social media. You can reach out to them on Twitter and LinkedIn handles. And for the community regarding questions or anything for us, Flutter Ahmedabad, Nagpur, and Mumbai, you can definitely reach out to us on our Twitter handles, Flutter Ahmedabad, Flutter Nagpur, and Flutter Mumbai. Again, a quick sign off. We will be inviting you all for the other another fellow community, which is Flutter Vadodara. Their session is about to start, and I think they started state management in Flutter using blog. I again thank you, all the viewers, all the speakers, and every community member, because I don't think it could have been any more fun and very well arranged without your contribution and inputs. We are really privileged to have Parinita and Atul. I know you guys think you guys are as normal as every IT professional is, but we definitely felt throughout the session that few things that you guys have taken your approaches toward that, your strategy towards that. It can be negotiation, that was well answered question. It can be about making a move from studying to like from working to studying. It can be your YouTube, starting your YouTube tutorials, and a lot of things that every individual might struggle. They might even start doing it, but they might not do it as well as you guys are doing. So that was a notable thing, and a lot of takeaways from this session. Will not take much time again. I'll have to wrap up. And yeah, thank you so much. Here, the official member of Flutter, we and Dash, on behalf of the entire collaborating communities. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being with us. We again see you. We plan to see you again, not during this lockdown. Hopefully, this will open again, and we will try to have a conversation face to face, and we'll have more fun. We'll learn more and we'll share more. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is
Thank you
Poonam
all.
Jha and
Thank you.
Praful and
Thank you.
Vivek,
Thank you.
Parinita and Atul signing off. Thank you.
Thank
All the
you.
Flutter
Thank you.
Mumbai.
And all the best to all.